So sorry this is in parts. It's kind of a pain in the arse, but well, we'll have to live with it for this round. So yeah, the other video's got the Buffalo Detroit breakdown, quick breakdown. I'll do a little more in depth the next round. Like I said, it's crunch for time. What we're going to do is Carolina, New Jersey. Carolina won in 7 games. A little scare for Wolf there. New Jersey won in 7 as well over Pittsburgh. It's a better series than some had thought, although I did think it went 6. Carolina, they were 3rd in goals for, over 4 goals a game, pretty solid. They were facing the Rangers, which should have been a mismatch, but their penalty kill was 72%, which is pretty low, but their power play was at 29%, which is very high. Not really sure where they lost the series. Their face-off percentage was 3rd. They were 2nd in penalty minutes with only 8. Bobrovsky wasn't that solid, I guess. He was over 3 goals against, almost a full goal more than the regular season. Save percentage was 870. Scoring-wise, nobody jumps out that they were terrible or didn't do what they were supposed to. Backstrom led the way with 10 points. I guess the Bergeron, Tarasenko, Giroux line could have been a little better. They still had almost a point a game, so they weren't horrible in any way. Henrique was good with 8 points, 4 goals. Same with Brett Burns. Yeah, Bobrovsky's got to be the reason there that it was what it was. New Jersey up by Pittsburgh. Over 3.5 goals a game. They had the best goals against in the first round. That was not surprising. Pittsburgh's not a high potent offense. Penalty kill was 4th. Power play was dead last, though, at 12.5 against a not strong opponent in Pittsburgh. Face-offs, they were also dead last, again, against this not a very strong opponent. Matt Murray was 4-2-1, an overtime loss, 901 save percentage, 2.58 goals against. Not surprising numbers against that Pittsburgh team. Dougie Hamilton led the way in points with 7 assists. Blake Wheeler had 7 points as well, as did Anders Lee, TJ Oshie, Jake Gensel. So he's pretty balanced as far as scoring for his top 2 lines. That said, I'm looking at this one and I see a pretty good mismatch here. I'm going to take Carolina, but I think they struggle still a little bit. And I'm going to take them in 6 games. So Carolina in 6 for this one. Zoran, I think you just come on there. Colorado GM. I did do the Buffalo Detroit series in another video. They'll all be up on YouTube here shortly. So we're just going to move through that one. So we got, and I had taken, if you hadn't seen it, I had taken Buffalo in 6 in the other one. So we got Buffalo in 6 and we got Carolina in 6 so far in the East. The Vancouver-Arizona series. Vancouver got through Minnesota, 6 games. One thing with that Carolina series I'm going to mention, they were 2-2 during the regular season as well. Vancouver, Arizona. Arizona actually won 2 games against Vancouver, lost 1 in a shootout and 1 in overtime. So Vancouver didn't win any in regulation against Arizona this year. Vancouver slid past Minnesota in 6. Arizona got by LA in 7. Vancouver's penalty kill was not very solid, 73%, but they were 1st in goals for 4 goals a game. Over 4 goals a game. Goals against 2.83 for the series. They really limit their shots. They were 1st in shots against, 21 a game. Team defense out of Vancouver. low in penalty minutes, high in face-offs. 12 points out of Seguin in the first round. Huberdeau was 7. Ryan Ellis had 8. Some guys that were a little slower. Jordan Staal was one of his productive players during the regular season. Only had 2 points in the first series. Kadri only had 3. Mike Green only had 3. So there's some production increases to come in Vancouver. Looking at Arizona, penalty kill was 5th for the first round, 82%. 5th in goals 4. First in shots 4. They went all out attack against LA. They hit a lot. They were 2nd with 25 hits a game. A little higher in penalty minutes at 12. That could be an issue facing Vancouver. Face-offs, they were middle of the pack. Scoring, Sean Couturier, though he didn't score during the regular season, he only had 3 points in the opening round. Maybe he was playing a little more shutdown against LA. Malkin with 6 points, Justin Falk 5, Landeskog had 6, PK Subban had a good round at 8, and Sami Vatanen had 7. So, a lot of his production was from the back end in the opening round. We'll see if that continues. That said, we're going to take Vancouver to win in 6 and advance to the conference final. So that would be 3 of my remaining picks from my bracket formerly here. I had taken Vancouver at the start of the playoffs, Carolina and Buffalo, and I have all 3 still advancing. Now, I did say one series I've changed my mind since the beginning bracket, and I'd had Winnipeg advancing. Now we look at them head-to-head against Winnipeg, and I've been impressed with this Colorado team. They dispersed with Nashville quite easily. I did expect them to. But the more I watch this team, the better I think they are. Winnipeg also just took care of Vegas in fashion, 5 games, no problem. But I just still don't like their depth. During the regular season, they were Colorado won 3 games. Winnipeg only won 1. 2 of those were in overtime, but Colorado scored Winnipeg 15-3. Looking at first round numbers, Winnipeg was 2nd in goals for in the first round. They were 4th in goals against a really bad opponent. Their penalty kill was dead last, 68% against not a strong team. That's something Colorado's going to expose. And their power play wasn't very strong either in the opening round. And with Ovechkin and Crosby and Horvat and Marleau and all the names they got in the first 2 lines, they should have a better power play than that. They took a lot of penalties, 12.6 a game, 14th out of 16 teams. For their face-offs, they were 2nd. As far as their offense, Horvat only had 3 points. Edler only had 2. Cam Atkinson only had 3. Hornqvist 4. Even the big guys, Ovechkin 6 and Crosby 8. Marleau was 7. They weren't scoring at a massive clip there. Mind you, those were in 5 games, but you'd expect a little more production there. Looking at Colorado, the best goal scorer in the opening round. I said that it was someone else, but that was incorrect. Almost 4.5 goals a game. They were 2nd in goals against, 4th on the power play, 3rd on the penalty kill, 2nd in shots for. They do take almost as many penalty minutes. Their face-offs percentage is very close to Winnipeg's. They also hit a lot more than Winnipeg does. They were 4th in that. Their scores, Pastrnak 7 points in 5 games. Carlson was 6. Dylan Larkin with 5. Koivu was 6. Krejci at 8. He led their way. That depth down the middle. I spoke with that in the opening video. So you got Carlson, Koivu, and Krejci, and Berglund on the 4th line. He jumped in with 6 points. Like the depth down the middle is just, oh, sorry, that was Bungstad. The depth down the middle is very strong. They've got a deeper team than Winnipeg. There's more high end in Winnipeg, but Colorado's got a better bottom 6. Also think they've got a little bit stronger defense core. Be nice if they could get Anisimov going. He only had 1 point in the opening round. The goaltenders, Carey Price 4-1. Percentage was .901 and 2.74 goals against. So his numbers were much better in his regular season, and I said if they were going to go somewhere, it was going to be on his back. Holtby had 2.68 goals against, .905 save percentage, 4-1 as well. So in that series, we're going to take Colorado in 7. I like the way this team's going. They're doing a lot of good things. I'm going to change my bracket up here. I'm going to take Winnipeg out. I'm going to move Colorado in as my prediction. And they see them facing Vancouver in the conference finals. The other side, I see Buffalo versus Carolina in the conference finals. It was a very good opening round. The one thing to watch, if you're going to watch anything in this round, is goaltenders for Vancouver. I forgot to discuss them in that series. The only GM that did any real goaltending flip-flops was Monty there in Vancouver. And he did this last year too with Martin Jones and Luongo this year. I think it was Ryan Miller last year for him. Jones is his goalie that he signed. He's got 3 years left. They went through a battle last playoff. He's doing it again this year. Flip between the two of them. The numbers aren't good. It's .865 save percentage for Jones, 3 goals against. Luongo wasn't much better, .862 goal save percentage and a 2.68 goals against. They both were 2-1, so it'll be interesting to see where he goes there. But aside from that, everybody else was pretty consistent with their lines, pretty consistent. The goaltenders, they stuck with their number ones. There was a few overflow minutes in that, paid by the backups throughout, but nothing significant enough to mention. The lines as I see them now are basically the same as they were at the start. Like I said, I did a little flip-flop for Game 7. Actually, Game 6 and 7. Marchand, I moved from the second line, moved Perry up for Game 6. It didn't work. I still lost. Moved him back for Game 7, and then I took Eriksson out of the lineup, and I put Brad Richardson in on that fourth line center. Moved Riley Nash to the wing, just to give myself a little better face-off, a little more defense. And it worked for me in that game. So we'll try and pay a little more attention to matchups this go at it. So that'll conclude the 4 series. So we're going to take Buffalo and Carolina in 6. We're going to take Vancouver in 6. And we're going to take Colorado to beat Winnipeg in 7. So we'll see how that goes. Enjoy the second round, guys. Again, apologies.